Hello and welcome back. Next, we're going to take a look at a cross-section and drawing a cross-section. I do this in a slightly different way because, for one thing, I don't have a cross-section drawn of the entire theater in model space where all the catwalks are and how thick they are and all of that, nor may I ever. That would be a pretty complicated drawing. But by hybridizing a two-dimensional drawing with a three-dimensional drawing, you'll see what I hope you'll think is a clever shortcut to that issue. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all of my layers. Turn off all of my layers and turn on, go to this pre-drawn two-dimensional drawing of a cross-section. I actually have a cyclorama sort of left in there from a previous drawing. That's okay, we'll leave it. All right, so what I want to do first is I want to take a viewport view of that. I'm going to put it in a new sheet layer. I'm going to call that sheet layer cross section. All right. And it can be in wireframe or it can be in hidden line, because this is a two-dimensional drawing. There is no wireframe there to speak of. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and plop that in. And now I've got a cross-section drawn out on a sheet up in sheet layers. That's the first step. Now I'm going to go back down into my design layers. All right, and I'm going to go to the set. I'm going to turn off the cross-section. And I'm going to turn on my other layers. I want to show you something here. You're going to have to get rid of one of these layers. And where you're going to want to get rid of these layers is in the theater, and I'll show you why. If we take a left or a cross-section view of all of that, we've got the Filoni balcony in here, some of the structure of the theater is in our way. It's just not a very, the ducts, it's not a very pretty picture. And you could do a section view of this. I can show you someday how to use that tool in Vectorworks. I like this shortcut better. It's a little swifter. But what I'm going to have to do first is turn off everything in the theater layer. And then I'm going to come up into my view menu and I'm going to show, snap, modify others as my way of viewing. I don't use this very often because, again, I can accidentally grab something I didn't want to grab. And I'm going to select everything here, Control A, or you can go over to the Edit tool and select everything. You can lasso it with the Select tool here. Just grab everything there. But I'm going to have everything gathered together, and I'm going to copy it. Again, you could use the pull-down menu, Edit, to copy. I use the keyboard shortcut of Control C. And now I am going to do and I lied to you here a little bit, I am going to come up here and do a viewport, create a viewport of all that stuff that's left without the theater. And I'm going to make a left view of that because we know that works. I'm going to make it a hidden line drawing. It's also going to be in 1/2" scale. And it is also going to go to my cross-section layer. I'm going to click OK. And there it is, hovering over in my cross-section layer. Now what I need to do is I need to get this lined up with the elements of my two-dimensional drawing. So I'm going to click in that drawing and drag the elements of it right over to my two-dimensional drawing. And there should be then my two-dimensional drawing within the space of the theater. And this is very useful for anybody doing rigging, exceptionally useful for the lighting designer to be thinking about which bays they want to put lighting fixtures in. All of that is really useful. I'm going to click Update. Don't typically put any dimensions into a cross-section. I might show where the trim is on legs and things like that, but that would be unusual for me. Now what I can do in order to put a title block on this is go into any other sheet layer I have, copy that title block, come back to my cross section, and plop it in, move it to where I want it, and voila, all I have to do now is update the information in the title block, and I've got a completed plate. It's as simple as all that.